the way back.
Here we go means that he's trying to figure out how to go live.
We are live, Larry.
We are live?
Yeah.
Welcome to Let's Grow Pulling with Jason Schultz.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Grow Pulling. My name is Jason Schultz with the Beer Money Pulling Team. We got a first hour is action-packed. The second hour is going to be, we're going to wrap up the Outlaw points for the banquet. Larry was at the PPO banquet and whatever else is going on in the pulling world. But first 20 minutes is dedicated to Justin Hoffman, last one standing, your Outlaw Light Superstock points champion. Got to celebrate with him this past weekend. Then we're going to go to Pete, or Wiley Coyote there. We could talk about the Tunica, the St. Jude's raffle tractor. I always say Tunica, but it's the St. Jude's raffle tractor. We'll get into that. And then at 8:40, we're going to bring on Clint Tucker. We're going to talk about the Midwest Winter Nationals in Shipshewana. Matt Hart, introduce yourself, and then we'll just go across the rows. Say who you are, and then we're going to start talking to Justin. So
perfect. Well, I'm Matt Hart from Stewart, Illinois. I found out I have a BAS and BS, and we're putting it on full display here tonight with the Grid Crew. Get to spend some time announcing some pulls and auction about 8 days a week. So happy to be here tonight and excited to hear all the good news and some of the stories from banquets.
And I am Larry Richwine, and I have a BS, an MS, and a PhD. Bullshit, more shit, piled higher and deeper.
How long did you be thinking about that?
Oh, he doesn't prep at all.
Oh, I've said that for years. That's almost as old as a Dolly Parton joke.
That's a tough one to follow, Larry. Hi, I'm Pete Petznick, a.k.a. Wiley Coyote. Got that nickname a long time ago. Cap Brothers Motorsports, member of the team of the Tunica Raffle Tractor. The proceeds go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Again, we'll really focus on that in the second segment of the show, 8:20 to 8:40. Mr. Hoffman, introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Justin Hoffman from Dunlap, Iowa. We pull in the light super class, mainly at the Outlaws, try to venture out once in a while and pull at other groups, and we run a body shop here in Dunlap.
Now, when you say a body shop, could you do anything with Larry Richwine's body, Justin? Or
We can probably put it on the frame machine and stretch them out a little bit.
That would help. That would definitely help. I am vertically challenged. Yeah, I tell you what, if I was a foosball player, I'm the perfect weight for something heavy.
Oh, Michael.
So what's going on, guys? I'm Mike Idle, diehard fan of pulling, enthusiast. I try to bring the fans' perspective to anything that I do. But I guess my title or what I am is kind of developing and fluid. I am anything that Beer Money Pulling needs and wants. I'm here to help them out in any way that I can. Anything that the Outlaws, I've kind of been able to be lucky enough and fortunate enough to be working both with the Outlaws a little bit and working with Beer Money Pulling a little bit. And just any capacity that I can help out in the world of pulling, I try to bring what I can and bring the fans' perspective, and just happy to be here. Having a great time. Looking forward to talking points championship with Justin Hoffman.
Who are the Chiefs playing tonight?
The Eagles. We got the Cheagles matchup. They call it the Cheagles game because it's, the Kelsey brothers and the Swift girl and, all that stuff. So,
okay, for those of you that are watching, let's start a poll. Let's see if we have more. I already know the answer to this. We're gonna have way more Chiefs fans on this podcast than we are Eagles fans. But let's see it in the comments. So, Justin, let's highlight your season a little bit. I shared the video out of the gate there. Opened up. Just saw you at the banquet, obviously this past weekend. But let's talk about your 2023 point season with the Outlaws, Justin. Was it a wire-to-wire finish? I'll be honest with you, I didn't do enough homework on it. But can you try to talk about your season?
No, beginning of the season, we had no intentions of running points. Usually, we're not points runners. Last year, we kind of got into the mix of it and finished out the season with it. This year, we missed the first couple hooks and a couple in between. And about mid-season, it was neck and neck. And then due to breakage with a couple tractors and stuff, we kind of walked away with it.
You won by like 74.5 points. You won by almost 75 total points. That's walking away with it, it sounds like, for sure.
Yeah. We try to kind of pride ourselves on being able to keep it running throughout the year. And I would say our day's coming where that's not going to happen, but it's what we try to accomplish.
Well, after watching your first hook in Monette, Missouri, Manila? No, that wasn't. Was that the first, Justin? Was Manila?
Manila. That was the first outlaw hook of the year. Yep.
Yeah, that was a rough ride for you, buddy. So.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that was going to be a bad start to the season, but luckily we got the bad one out of the way and moved on.
Hey, if anybody has any questions for Justin or been following this beautiful tractor, that 88 series, it's a gorgeous tractor. How did you get the name Last One Standing, Justin, for your tractor?
It was kind of named after the 88 series being the last tractor to come off the International Assembly line. So we were just kind of brainstorming ideas. Dad and I wanted to call it tractor just to be goofy, like you call your dog dog. And Mom was not having it at all. She thought that was a dumb name. People weren't going to like it, this and that. So that's what brought us to the Last One Standing name. And we kind of went as far on the tractor with details as having a serial tag remade and having it one number past the last one that actually came off the assembly line, and kind of stupid little things like that. And the irony behind that is when we did Mom's tractor in 2016, we ended up naming it tractor and it stuck. So she ended up getting stuck with the name.
Karen Dunlap on the tractor. And I'm like, what's the name of it? It's named the tractor. It's named
Not the tractor, Jason, just tractor.
Just tractor.
Yep. It's not
So
the dog. It's dog.
In the Outlaws, you guys are still ag chassis or ag rear end on the chassis. Is that correct?
Nope, we're component chassis.
You guys
They
did
do
go
have
component?
a egg chassis class, but
Yeah, Pete. So the Outlaws have two classes. Like the class that Mark Lomer pulls in is the light super stock ag chassis class. And then this is just like NTPA or PPL, the big light supers like that Blackburns and Bobby Jones and all them pull with. So
They used to call the class Unlimited Super Stocks, which was super confusing to everyone in the outside world because the Outlaw light supers were labeled Unlimited Supers, and then I think it was just this last year they made the name change to just make it consistent across all three organizations.
yeah, there's a lot of people that we'd talk to and stuff, and we'd show up other places to pull, whether it be Toma, Bowling Green, Mountain City, some of them. And weren't you guys in Unlimited? And it's like, no, that's just the name of it because the light super already existed in Outlaw, and we just kind of tried to get the component deal going back in the day.
there's a good question, Justin, on the screen there. And make sure we talk about getting engaged at the banquet this weekend tonight too before we let you go. Okay. So.
Okay.
This is Morgan Schulte from New Vienna, Iowa. He says, what brought your family team out of Super Farm and into light super stock? Can you kind of maybe take, before you answer that question, or this will kind of answer it altogether, Justin, kind of go back to your pulling family and how it started and how it got to where we are today?
My grandpa kind of always farm pulled, and my dad, when he got on his own and stuff, he kind of started with the antiques. Always used to pull Olivers, and his first bigger tractor per se was actually a light super Oliver that he pulled a lot with Nebraska Bush. And when he got tired of putting the Waukesha back together, he decided to go super farm when he bought Eddie Hopp's old tractor and turned it into the Mark 50 that hunts, and then Brad Hart owns now. And then after that, it was just kind of, he was ready for a change. And the old Red Power tractor, which used to be Lauren Ford's running on empty, he bought into that and kind of ran that for a few years and decided we wanted to jump up and be able to go more places and go to Toma, Bowling Green, and participate in them classes. So we built the component chassis and had Blackburns help us with the motor combination, and that's where we are today.
That was a smart decision on that little deal there. So
when you jump from super farm to light supers and you let that light super, get fired for the first time, how hot did that feel sitting in the seat of that thing? Or did you had enough experience just in pulling in general by that point that taking it down the track was just like taking it down the track?
Well, I was young enough at that point. I actually never was able to get on the seat of the super farm. So besides pulling antiques, that was my first experience as a light super.
So this is all then.
Yep. So that was real eye awakening, going from a 88 Oliver to a light super.
Big jump.
Yep.
So Russ Dostal, our super fan from Pierce, Nebraska, says, first of all, congrats. He's asked this question twice, so we got to put it on the screen. Have you had the perfect pass yet? The perfect pass, Justin.
No, there's always room for improvement. You can have a picture perfect pass, and Dad and I will download the computer, watch video and stuff, and there's always a couple things we could change.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Again, if you're just joining us, Let's Grow Pulling Live. Got Justin Hoffman, your 2023 Outlaw Light Superstock Points Champion. He also won our very first Pullers Championship in 22. So we appreciate him coming down for that. He'll get the invite back again this year. Did you guys put in for Louisville as well, Justin?
Nope, we're kind of anti-winter pulling. Being a body man, kind of allergic to the salt.
What's that, Justin?
Kind of allergic to the salt.
Yep, being a body shop guy.
Yeah.
Bradley Sturgeon checking in from Kentucky. Good evening, gentlemen. Hard running light super. Seen you at the Pullers Championship when we were there pulling and covering the event. My family has the Insanity Pulling Team lightweight supers. There you go.
There is tough competition wherever you run across them.
That's a good family to have. So, have you ever had to deal with Larry Richwine as a tech official, Justin? That's something. Have you ever had to see that face looking underneath the hood or anything, Hoffman, over the years?
Yeah, a couple times. I think Toma mostly.
Did it go okay? Did he let you pull, or should we kick? I can kick him off the show, Justin, if I need to.
I mean, can you just make it where you can't hear me so I can tell the true story, or no?
Yeah, I'll just mute him. There we go. There we go. He's muted now. And just go away.
No, he was pretty good to deal with. He was pretty happy, and of course, he had to give you a little bit of a hard time about something, but that's Larry's nature.
Yes, it is. I still have him muted. I'm going to put him in the penalty box for 5 more seconds. It's all good like that.
I think actually 1 year in Bowling Green, when our starter took a crap right before the pull off, he was actually back there trying to see if we needed anything for help. And
okay, Matt, Illinois Matt, come in with one of your auctioneer solid questions here for Justin Hoffman.
Yeah, auctioneer solid questions. So, it's funny when someone asks about the perfect pass, I generally say the pass that's perfect is when the machine makes it back in the trailer with all its pieces together. This year obviously was pretty consistent for you. Was there any big mishaps that maybe put you this season where you're like, this isn't going to happen for us? Or was it just one of those where, the gods looked down and said, let the tractor run?
That first pass that Jason talked about in Manila, when we kind of went for a rough ride, missed the setup a little bit. That was a little bit of a setback. And then middle of the season, we had broke a planetary. And other than that, it was been pretty straightforward.
Yeah, real nice. That's all you can ask for. You know, at the end of the day, you know, and like you said, you stay away from the winter pulling, so you're not rusting out or anything like that. Nobody needs that, even if you're good at it. So, you know, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. And I would say when I was younger, I'd probably get a little irritated with Dad, all the extra hours he'd want to spend looking over the tractor, doing stuff. And I'd kind of go, why is this? I talked to so-and-so. They didn't hardly do nothing. And I'd kind of just almost get irritated. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized all that extra time that we spend in the shop is why it's able to stay on the track week and week.
Yeah,
that's a neat story. I like that you brought that up. So.
Yeah, what's John Wooden say? He says, if you don't have time to do it right, how are you going to have time to fix it? So that kind of sticks with it, even if we get a little impatient. So cool, man. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So you got engaged at the Outlaw Banquet this weekend, Justin. Take us through that.
Well, her and I kind of got brought together. She started following us around tractor pulling and just kind of hard to turn it down when you have somebody that comes around and can enjoy tractor pulling and put up with all the late nights, long hours, and that's saying a lot. Not many can deal with all that.
And put up with you. I mean, that's given. I mean, there's
I was going to get to that point, but I figured everybody already knew that.
Do you buy her better tasting shots?
There we go. No, the last 2 years she came along pulling with us about every time. In fact, 2 years ago I was in a couple weddings and I had to miss a couple hooks, so she was with Mom and Dad helping. So she made more pulls than I did that year even. But kind of joke, we've won the points both years that she's been along, so kind of called her my good luck charm. So when I asked her to marry me down there, I asked her if she wanted to be my good luck charm forever.
Oh, love it.
Well
That's
done.
pretty smooth. Did you use Chat GPT for that, or did you think of that on your own? So
all up here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, have you ever been to Bowling Green? We got a big William Lumberg, our big Bowling Green enthusiast, is watching tonight. Have you ever pulled in Bowling Green, Justin?
Yep, 3 times I think.
How'd you do?
Got a second, a fourth, and then I don't remember got a second and a fourth, maybe another fourth, and then one of the hooks, the year in 15, we had a bad hook and had a little fire, but we were able to come back the second night, and Dad drove and got second.
Nice.
So you did well. I mean, to come right out and say, I mean, you at a big stage, you performed really well. Just to put it bluntly, that's awesome.
How many years have you been driving this tractor now, Justin?
We put it together in 2010, so been driving it off and on since then. The last 3-4 seasons, Dad's kind of slowed down a little bit on driving and kind of lets me take the reins more. So I'd say the last 3 years for sure has been kind of beneficial to me, being on the seat more repetitively and getting the feel for it week in and week out.
Awesome. Well, Justin, thanks for coming on tonight. Congratulations on your points championship. Enjoy the winter, and if we can sneak Larry in for a frame stretching, let me know what it costs. Okay.
I'll do it for free if he shows up.
Do you hear that, Larry? He'll do it for free. So
he's got to take the nasty shot first, though.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take one for the team, Justin. So
all righty.
Thanks, Justin.
Yep, thank you.
Congratulations again. Yeah.
Justin Hoffman, everybody, our 2023 Outlaw Points champion, joining us. We're switching gears now. We're going to talk St. Jude's tractor raffle. That's coming up pretty quick. Pete Penzick, I know him from Cat Brothers Motorsports. Also, he calls himself Wile E. Coyote. We can get into that as well. Pete, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. First of all, did you get the angry farmer guy from Illinois on TikTok yet? What's his name?
He is coming on this Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay.
So yes,
What's
he
his
is
name
on
again?
tap.
What's his name again?
Good
crap.
grief. Growing
Corn 2020.
Grown Corn 2020. Yes.
Yep. Last year, when he came on, and didn't he go live on TikTok, or he did something, and your guys' ticket sales just freaking went through the roof.
We can attribute over $30,000 within about 18 to 24 hours of what he did when he posted that video on TikTok with a demonstrator tractor, which was last year's St. Jude's raffle tractor. So this year we have a Massey Harris 444 that was put together by a crew out of mid-Missouri. It'll be making a track up to Wauseon, Ohio, to the NATPA hook up there. And it will make a stop at Jason Kessler's shop, who was kind of our champion last year that took care of the demonstrator. He's 20 minutes away from him, and they will do the video on the way up to Wauseon to get the boost in ticket sales that we're looking for this year.
I'm just putting some photos up there. If I'm covering up Matt Hart's face, it's not on purpose. Here, Matt, I'll make sure I'll cover my own face up there. How about that, buddy? So,
That's okay. You're doing the folks a favor. It's fine.
yeah. Actually, well, if that's the case, we'll put Larry behind there. See how.
Is the tractor
Larry doesn't
still in
care.
Missouri right now?
It's currently in Missouri. The crew that put it together, we call them the kind of the mid-Missouri crew. This whole tractor started off with a concept from Chris Albright out of South Dakota and Jeff Gravert. As we've trekked down the St. Jude's Raffle Tractor Road, it is tractor number 9. We've had an Oliver 88, a Co-op E4, UB Moline, M Farmall, a John Deere G, another M Farmall, 77 Oliver, and then that 460 utility, the demonstrator. This has been long in the works, and Chris spearheaded it, but a group of brothers, 2 different groups of brothers and families, the Lubring family and then the Wolken family, really took the ball and ran with it, kind of like they what Eric Olin and his crew did with the Black M out of Wisconsin back in 2018. These guys knocked the cover off the ball. They raised money. We'd found a chassis. We bought it pretty cheap. It got delivered to the to the Enola, Oklahoma tractor pull. And they had heard about it. They got behind it. They sourced an engine that was for sale on Marketplace, got the guy to knock $1,000 off for the project. They did a GoFundMe page to put it together to make it happen. They're the ones that locally got donations coming from all sorts of vendors within, 100-mile radius of Jeff City, Missouri. And they have been the ones that do all of the logistics. So between the Lubring family, the Wolken family, and then Caleb Vanderfelt's with Liberty Bibbs Paint and Body, he did amazing work on the chassis on this thing. The first time I saw it in person, I was just flabbergasted. It is immaculate. It is so beautiful. It is one of the prettiest tractors that has been put together for this project yet.
So, Jason, Larry,
That's saying
Matt,
a lot,
any
Pete.
of us,
That's saying a
if
lot.
any of us win it, I know right where we can store it. It's a Missouri tractor already. And it's a Massey Harris, which is just cool. The fact that, Massey Harrises are getting few and far between, and that's truly an old antique tractor. That's awesome. That's super cool.
And to get one of these, to get a 44 Massey or a 444 Massey motor to perform, they were a torque monster, but the heads on them just were not the greatest in the industry. And for what the motor is in that thing and the way that it performs, it is always hooked well. It's placed just about every time it's gone out. It is a tough contender, and it's a beautiful tractor. There you go. There's a link where you can get tickets for it. If you go on to Pullers for Childhood Cures, you can find a donation link at the bottom to give directly to St. Jude's, or you can go through. There's actually a QR code on the tractor itself. You can click with your smartphone and get a link and get tickets for the tractor. It's $20 for a chance, and then if you donate $100, you get 6. And the more you donate, the better discount you kind of get on tickets.
I've never seen a QR code on a tractor before. That's smart, Pete.
It wasn't my design. I got to give kudos to Brian Lively. Brian Lively is the glue that makes this project to continue to happen.
Yeah, how did we get stuck with you tonight? We were told we were going to have the big guy on tonight, and all of a sudden I'm told Pete's coming on. What did we do wrong, Pete?
He had a dinner planned with his stepmom, and they weren't sure that they were going to get done in time. And he was going to ask some other members of the management team that do this, Houston and Stacy Jackson, and they have not been feeling well. And Stacy commented, well, if you want to deal with like a croupy, cruddy cough, you could have me. And well, it's probably more important to have somebody that can talk on here than somebody coughing. So I volunteered.
Mark Seamer, I think, is watching, Pete. What's the
yeah.
on that?
Yeah, he's a local buddy from the Kansas City area. Yeah, it's 390 cubes is what this one is. It's a 6.5-inch crank, and then I forget what they came up with, a bore on it. So it's got a little bit of stroke, and it's got a lot of head work done on it, and they've taken their time and had it on and off the dyno several times. Seth Lubering, he opened up his shop at home and did a lot of the wrenching on it and did a lot of the finite work and wrenching on the tractor. You look at the brake lines, you look at, they got a line lock for the disc brakes and little detail stuff like that. It's all over the tractor.
I'm going to ask you because I do all these fundraisers all the time and raffles and such. What is the date that you're drawing? And maybe repeat again where the location of the tractor is and what somebody needs to do to get it picked up if they are the lucky winner.
So it gets given away the first Saturday in December, which is December 2nd in Tunica, Mississippi. It'll be there. It'll hook down there. We'll do a giveaway that Saturday morning. There'll be a big presentation that we do every year. And we always field logistics somehow. Whoever wins it, we work out some way to get it home to them. There's always people that volunteer. As soon as we get away, phones just start blowing up. Hey, I know that guy. I can get it to such and such. And we're like, great. There's times that I've hauled it. There's times that other people said I can get it partway to Pennsylvania and we can make it happen. Awesome.
No, that sounds great. So they're 20 a piece and 6 for 100. And there's unlimited amount of tickets, right? So
Correct.
We're not capped at anything. So somebody wants to give $1,000 and make it happen for themselves and have the smile on their face like the gentleman running it right there does, they can do so. All right, very cool.
Yeah, that's Mark Walton right there. He's
he needs to buy some tickets. It looks like he's enjoying himself there. I like that picture.
He's one of the brothers and the family that helped put it together. And he's a fantastic puller, has been around for a long time, and he is a through and through Massey guy. And to be on a tractor like this, yeah, it just thrilled him to death. And we're so grateful for what the Lubrings and Wolkins and Albright, and there are so many names on the list. We can't go through it tonight. I'll do that when we do the giveaway on December 2nd when the tractor actually finds a new home.
Very
the goal is, we'd love to have $150,000 on this. We're slightly over 20 at the moment, but it's always the last 2 weeks where things just like skyrocket and go just off the rails.
Well, when Tony Reed can make a TikTok to his bajillion followers, that's good for business.
Yes, it is. Yep. Tony helps a lot, and there's a lot of pullers that they'll just save up their money and they'll just give it, the last 2 days at Tunica. It's not uncommon, for $50,000 to roll in, those couple of days.
I've noticed that in the past, Pete. It just goes crazy the last couple of days, or in Tunica down there. So.
Right. Yeah, we were with the demonstrator last year. We netted out at $114,000 that we gave to St. Jude's, which was fantastic. The the next best
Awesome,
of
yeah.
that was we had the battle of the brands in 2019. I think we actually did closer to 150, but that was over 2 tractors because we had a John Deere G and a Farmwell M together that same year. The really fun year was 2018 when we had that Black M, and it was either $94,000 or $96,000 that year just by itself. That tractor had the guts pulled out of it because it went everywhere. It bounced around the Midwest and then made its way to the East Coast. I think we wore out a set of tires. It needed rings by the time it got done. So we kind of had to pull back the reins a little bit and chose a champion that would take care of the tractor a little better. And that's definitely what we got with the Mid-Missouri crew that did this tractor. It's got a unique nickname. I think you mentioned it, Jason, in the promo video earlier today. And if you look on the frame rails on the front, it says Bocephus on it. And we've been going back and forth all year, trying to make sure we're legality things, and we think we're in check with it. Where all of that stemmed from is the Mid-Missouri boys had a local guy. His name's John Codron, and he brought over some parts one day, and they were just a greasy pile of mess goo. Well, he was kind of dressed the same way, but the guy looks just like Hank Jr. That's how it got the nickname. And it stuck. And Seth ordered the decals and put it on the side of the tractor. So I see Seth just commented right there. So, oh yeah, the tires. Seth's brother Jonah is South Bend Tire Cutting is the one that did the top cuts on those 15.5s on it, and he does phenomenal work. And he's going to get them sharpened before and touched up before we give it away down in Tunica.
So I'm not super well versed in classic and antique pulling. What weight classes is this prep for, and how much can it move between some of those weight classes?
So this tractor, if I remember correctly, it weighed roughly 3950 with a driver on it. So you could start with 4,000 pounds and go up to about 6,000. And with 500-pound brakes in the middle of that. And it's set up for 3 or 3.5 mile an hour or 4 mile an hour, depending on where you are. But typically it's like a 3.5 mile an hour tractor.
Sorry,
That'd be
guys.
a great
I
one
was
to
just
start
flipping through
somebody
some
on.
photos there, and I pushed the wrong button. I want to keep sharing some. James Harmon sent me a bajillion photos, so I'm trying to catch up with all of them. So thank you, Jim, for doing that. So
yeah, Jim's been a great supporter of the St. Jude's Raffle Tractor Project, and especially he's a Massey guy through and through, so he's been all over this one.
He's ate up on these masses.
We touched on Lively just a second ago, and Lively is the one that he does a lot of the promotional program for Louisville and for Shipshewana and Bowling Green. And he does so much work in the background. I don't know how that he has time to pour his heart into this project, but he does. And without it, we couldn't continue to make this thing happen. Houston Jackson does a lot of the tracking of what we get for donations, who's given what, where, and why, and lets us know where we are on that. And then his wife Stacy helps on tickets processing when we get sales in and online tickets. She's the one that assigns a ticket number to it and does a lot of the back office administrative things. There's years that I do a lot of logistic stuff and have really involved within it. To be quite honest, the Mid-Missouri guys have done such a fantastic job. I really haven't had to touch much of this one at all, which we like. We love having a champion team or individual that takes care of things, and we've got a tractor chosen for next year, and we've got a champion in line to do that again for that tractor. So we keep moving forward with this until we get informed otherwise, and we're well over $500,000 that we've donated to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's a worthy cause, and the only money that we keep in the fund is just to like to go buy another chassis. Other than that, it's all donations. So all of the money goes, straight to the hospital. And we try to get as many parts donated as we can, and hook fees and winnings with the tractor gifts most of the time get donated back into the fund. So we're not in this at all for ourselves. It's all about the kids and finding cures for childhood cancer.
Well,
Yeah, Pete.
and we all know pullers will just rally Pete, to support stuff like this. And you've seen it year after year. So it's awesome. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, Pete, other than the raffle for the tractor, which is huge, are there other ways people can give? I know you mentioned just donating. Are there other raffles or other events a part of the poll that they can give to?
So at the Southern Nationals in Tunica, Mississippi, that week, the first 2 days of December, the last day of November, we also do some small little auction items. People will donate a set of tires, or we'll get a toy tractor put together by Houston Jackson. We'll auction one of those off. If anybody has something laying around that's tractor pulling related and wants to bring it to Tunica and give it to us, we'll auction it off or set up a way that, people can donate to the cause. You can, if you go onto the website and then go to the donate now there at the bottom, you can give directly to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And in some ways, we just assume the donations go to the hospital because that's where it really needs to go to, ultimately anyway. That's what it's about, is helping kids.
Yeah, perfect. This time of year, it's always a generous time, and people are gonna be excited to still be tractor pulling in December. That's awesome. So, again, like you always say, if you can give early, give often, right? And people can reach out to you. That's great. That's great.
It's not uncommon for guys, especially if they're a Massey guy, to give, $500 once, and then a month and a half later, he gets a little more extra money coming in. He's like, well, I'm going to give another $1,000 or $2,000 for it. And even some of those same guys, they'll show up at Tunica, and sometimes we'll have $5,000 come in from a single individual, and you're just like blown away. And local clubs have always rallied around this. There's a lot of clubs that have their own special St. Jude's class, and all the winnings go from that class back to, they'll put it together as like a jackpot class, and they're like, yeah, we'll pay $1,000, but most of the good-hearted individuals always donate that back into the fund and give it to St. Jude's.
Perfect.
Larry, you've been way too quiet, Larry. I can't handle this. So I need you to take something. Make sure you're still alive. I got people texting me saying, is Rich Wine dead?
He's on that stretcher machine. They put him on the stretcher back there. And
he's not an antique guy.
You muted me earlier. And no, I've never pulled antiques, but the first tractor I had was a Massey 44. It just happened to have 2 small blocks in it and then 1 big block in it. Yeah, yeah. But
you know who else has got one of those? Wayne Sullivan. There's who you need to sell this tractor to.
Yep. Yeah. And Tony Reed will be the key. You put Growing Corn 2020. He's got a new shop. Need to stop by his shop with that tractor. Let him talk about it. And that right there, like you said, like last year, Lively told me, he goes, man, I can't believe the response. And I said, well, you got 1 million followers. And the way he opens every TikTok with "Good morning" and whatever, beep.
Right.
He's got a great. He was at Bowling Green this year. He was at Bowling Green with Nick McCormick. Him and Nick McCormick are neighbors and lifelong friends. And I went by the trailer where Nick was, and I said, "Wow, I'm not a starstruck guy, but I need a photo with Growing Corn 2020." So I had to take a photo, and Nick said, "Smile." I said, "This is my smile. Take the damn photo." Anyway, but yeah.
It was great to meet Tony down at the Farm Machinery Show in February.
Yeah.
And we had some placards put together. If you saw the demonstrator from last year, Cale Mankey from Mankey Motorsports came up with a really cool idea of way to do the side shields and did a 3D projection of how we did the demonstrator logo and popped it out. And And it came about that all of those became special plaques for people. We miscut a few pieces and we're like, oh, hey, let's do this with it. And thank you for your donation and your involvement. And Tony Reed got the biggest one. You know, it was about 2 foot long, and we gave it to him down there at Louisville. It took an hour to get through the line just to present it to him. So he was a huge help. The footprint that he has and the footprint that Let's Grow Polling and Beer Money Polling Team has, that's why I befriended Schultze a long time ago to do things like this.
So you had a motive in actually becoming friends with Jason?
I did.
Huh. I lost a bet. And I became friends with Jason. And then ultimately, I don't know. I've got a lawn chair by the dang mailbox, and I'm waiting for my first check. But he did tell me last week to get some better equipment, because right now it looks like I'm sitting next to a tanning bed. But nevertheless, I did talk to my son, Jason, because he's a internet guru, and told him I need to know what I need to make me look better. And he went, Dad, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, on camera. But, he is my son. So, but yeah, he goes, Dad, I can only do so much, man. So, yeah. But no, somebody said they'd like to see me on the antique tractor. I ain't scared. I'll drive it. Yeah.
Being Wasion, it'd be closer to you. So.
Well, yeah, Wasion's only a few hours away. I'm west of Indianapolis, so yeah. But the key will be,
Larry?
Huh?
Do you do Santa Claus? I just got this idea. They got this December event here. You come in as Santa Claus and drive that Massey for him.
I suppose I could. Yeah, I wouldn't really need any padding. Thanks, Jason, for not saying that.
I just didn't want to talk on everybody else, but I was going to come.
Well,
you'll have no problem saying ho ho ho. I was going to do like that. So.
Whatever you say, Jason. You're the host and the producer and whatever the hell else you are. Yeah. But yeah, it's I'd be, I'm not above doing that, man. So, yep. I got several of my friends still pulling antiques and Massey's. It's just, Massey's is actually the first one I've ever ran, but I had a little bit more speed than 5 miles an hour, I can assure you. And that tractor, I know everybody's going to give me hell for saying it. That'll look real good with a pair of 30.5s on the back.
I like where your head's at.
Well, that's mine. Mine always had 30.5s on the back of it. Maybe that's why I had to keep fixing the rear end.
And probably no fenders.
Oh, no, it didn't have fenders. Fenders are for wimps, man. See now, Jason, everybody wanted to know if I was okay. You muted me, and now you know why you muted me.
Love it.
Love it. Well, Pete,
I'm just saying.
Thanks for coming on tonight. Have James and you guys keep sending us stuff as things are going on, and we'll keep sharing it around. Again, Tony Reed's the ticket because he rocks.
Yeah,
it. He's such a cool dude. His heart's in the right place. He does it for all the right reasons. We'll help you anywhere we can. Maybe Mike's a big Taylor Swift fan. Maybe we'll ask Taylor to say something because she seems to be all the trend now. You know what I'm saying? So
she's basically right down the road.
But she's not at the Chiefs game tonight, though.
The last time she wasn't the one we lost, so that's bad. That's bad news right there.
We got something coming
Taylor
in the background. We just can't announce it yet. So when it happens, I'll let you know. And if this comes through like it's supposed to, it's huge. It'll blow your mind.
Awesome. So everybody head over to pullersforchildhoodcures.com. Get your tickets. If you have a message, if you have questions, get a hold of Lively through the Hook magazine. He'll square it. And Brian is an amazing man for what he does for the sport of pulling. It's insane. It's insane. So, well, I got Clint Tucker waiting in the green room, and you know what happens in the green room. I don't want him to drink too much before he gets on. So I know he's sitting in the garage prepping for the show. So Pete, thanks for coming on. Your whole team, everybody that does this is amazing. It's for the right reasons. And the pullers really, really rally around us, Pete. So thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Take care.
Good luck, Pete. Thank you for what you're doing.
All right. Pete Penzink, everybody. That's so cool. I think he said it's been 9 years. Did you guys catch that? So
yeah, that sounds right.
But no, last year when they The tractor was painted at Paul Romack's brother's shop. Paul helps with the Pullers Championship part. Helps with 618 Motorsports, all that down there. And Tony came by the shop, and Ryan just did a video with him, and then Tony went to his TikTok, and you guys' sales just went through the. Because I think he said, "Hey effers, hey mother effers, you need to go buy a ticket." He called him right out, so it was pretty funny. It was pretty
Brian's
funny.
a heck of a guy. He told me about it. He said, "My God, you couldn't believe the response." And I said, "Well, yeah, I can." Yeah.
That's crazy. So we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to one of my favorite polls of the year, the Midwest Winter Nationals, the Super Bowl of single chargers, whatever you want to call it. This event really it shaped my polling history with my limited pro beer money polling team, and Clint Tucker and the team really rallied around that. We'll be talking a lot about this coming up. We're going to bring Clint on here. He doesn't have his camera on. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to see him tonight. We'll have to find out what's going on. Tucker, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't turn my camera on because my internet's terrible. You know that.
That's fine. So it's good. It's good. It's good to see you. You look better this way, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Well, Clint, we have Larry Richwine on. Give me a good Larry Richwine story before we dive into your event.
Oh, Larry's always been a hero of mine, and he done a terrible job that I do for a long, long time, and I just tried to do as good a job at it as he did.
Well, sucking up won't help you any, but I may be at Shipshewana anyway.
That'd be fantastic, Larry. We'd love to have you.
Well, now that I've got this new hat on, technically that Western Series,
Yeah, you can come out and help me anytime you want, Larry.
I appreciate that. I may just do it.
We do things a little different out there, but it seems to work.
You
Tucker,
know what?
you have to set up an autograph station for Richwine if you take him to any polls, okay?
Absolutely.
Now I'm not going. No.
We'll put him there with our charity tour. He can sit right there with Justin Stuckenschneider. I bet they get along real well.
Oh, for sure. Yes, they would. Well, as you know, everybody, January 11th through the 13th is the Midwest Winter Nationals. It's in Shipshewana now. That building, that facility is amazing. It's top notch. It's as nice as Louisville. I mean, it's clean. It's warm. I think the only complaint is that the beer's but the beer's too expensive at Louisville also. So I don't think anybody can even argue with that. So
the only complaint I get is there's no Waffle House at 3 a.m.
There's no fast food restaurants, period. Yeah.
They do shut that down. There's no steak and shakes or anything. So
it's a 300-foot track, which is unique for indoor tracks. Am I correct when I'm saying that? It's a full-size track, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 300 foot.
Yep.
So that's a breath of fresh air when you're looking at winter pulling. And one thing I know fans kind of feel just inconsistent with is, dodging the sand pile, so to speak. But when you're pulling on 300 feet, you feel like you're pulling, even if it is indoors. I think that makes it really unique, really special.
We try to keep them out of it most of the time, but we'll plan it every now and then.
No, well, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's not like Gordyville where you spin out in it, but it's a little different. But Brandon tries to keep them, especially when we're trying to qualify everything going so fast there the first 5 sessions. We try to keep their front ends underneath them and all the cowboying under control. But we got a pretty good sled operator. He kind of knows what he's doing. So
yeah, he
does. Yes, he does.
We try to keep him, out of that pile. Speed to show up and keeps everybody on their toes and keeps the competition nice and tight. And I couldn't do it without those guys in Bungart Motorsports. They're the best in the game, and I love dealing with them.
Clint, what is we're less than 2 months away. What are the main messages that you want to get out to pullers and spectators right now? That what's going on with your event? What are you looking for? What do you need? What's the main couple of things you want to communicate to everybody tonight?
Well, I need about 25 or 30 more hot farms. I don't quite have enough of those. Maybe we get up to 100 of them. Maybe set a record of entries in one class. But entries are coming in good. Got full about everything. Looking for a few more light limiteds. We reaching out to those guys. So this is a difficult class to get wrangled in one pin, but we're working at it. Getting a few more 3.0 trucks. Got a couple more 5-inch pro stocks. Hopefully getting done here in the 11th hour, and they'll be up there. But we're gonna have a few 4.1 semis at the end of the night there on Saturday night, and that has really went over really well. I've getting a lot of input on that. What I should be doing. I kind of put Brent Roberts in charge of that. I hope Brent and I are still friends after this is all over. But kind of just been throwing them all Brent's way. He's got a couple of them, and I told him, I was like, he made the comment in the summertime he wanted to pull them trucks inside. I said, I have a place you can do it, and I think we're going to do that on Saturday night at the end of the night. So
yeah, I saw him this weekend, Tucker. I saw him this weekend. He said, "Yeah, I got tuckered on this 4-1 truck meet."
No, don't let him mislead you. He was the one that said he wanted to bring it.
Awesome. Chuck Hobbs is checking in. 19 naturally aspirated minis. Yeah, the mini rods the last couple of years. I think it's been we pulled some of them down in Rantoul, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we
that
pulled
guy from Canada came down.
And
yep.
And I actually got another guy from Canada reached out to me tonight. He's got a blown one to jump in with the Budson and Jasper crew. So we found another victim from Canada going to come down and meet some very interesting, good mini rod light. And Art Klein, he's been promoting the crap out of it. I mean, yeah, we're going to have a really good mini rod class this year. We're going to split them in half. Because like Larry knows, that building doesn't breathe the best, so you want to keep your alcohol fumes as low as you possibly can. So we're going to split them this year, half and half in 2 sessions. And, you know, last year we had some turbocharged mini rods that kind of fumed the place up. And the guy that was in charge of the building last year wasn't really impressed with me. It wasn't as bad as the days Kevin Moore went down the track, but you know, gotta thank Kevin a ton. He's still the sponsor of both the mini rod classes. He doesn't even get to compete. So thanks to Kevin and Hot Wheels sponsoring the mini rod class. Can't thank him enough. And he just goes and cheerleads and love him to death until we can figure out how to put a little baby smoke tube on diesel mini rods. You know. But, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. Maybe one day Kevin and Bungard will get together and we'll have a little baby tube that we drag around. So, but yeah, thanks again to Kevin and all the mini rod guys. They just, I mean, this is their Super Bowl. They don't get to pull against one another very often. You know, I think this here down at Keystone is the only time they get entertained, you know, on a longer track. And just thank those guys a million for all they do. They don't cause any trouble. You got to kind of be careful when you take them to the scale because if one goes, you know, all 50 of them want to go. But Joe Dirt in the back, I think he's got him broke the lead now, and everybody's getting along real well.
Up on the screen right now, I got the advanced tickets prices. You guys looked like you opened up advanced tickets last week. Clint, does that sound right?
Yeah, we're selling a lot of tickets in advance. People have been calling me from. You know, I got one guy called from Nevada today. I don't know what he's planning on doing in Shipshawana, but he's coming. A lot of people from Florida are coming up. You know, I was like, do you know there is a pull in Florida the same weekend? They said, yeah, we know, but we're still coming to Shipshawana. You know, we got a lot of people coming. Advanced ticket sales been doing really well, probably the best we've ever seen. And you know, last year it was standing room only on Friday and Saturday nights, so. We've never ever shut tickets down, but there might be a day that, you know, once we get to a certain number, we probably ought to shut it down because, you know, we don't want to sell tickets and make a person stand unless, you know, they prefer to do that around the adult beverage area.
What's your seating capacity or what's your record attendance? How many people are we talking are in the building at this thing?
Oh, I think there's enough seats for about 35 to 3,600, but I think we've had 4,000 in there before.
Sure. That's cool.
It's nothing like Gordyville was in like 2012, 13, 14. We had like 5,000 people, and we had 3,000 seats and just 2,000 people standing around, not really paying attention to the pool, but they're just there.
That always makes it really interesting. Those are some good memories. So
Especially the pile behind the announcer stand during the pro stock class. That usually got pretty interesting.
yep. So we start off Thursday, the 11 a.m. Eastern. The 1,950-pound Econo mini rods, 9,000 Pro Farms, 9,500 Pro Farms, 9,500 Hot Farms. Flight 2, 12,000 King of the 15-mile-an-hour. Is that Goose Graves class, the King of the Hill?
That's Goose's. Yep.
Yep. And the 12,000 farm
and
stock.
don't forget Mongo.
Oh, and Mongo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There's one
awesome.
fender says yes and one fender says no, just like Mongo's Brahma Bull. He rode in on Blazing Saddles. Yep.
I was going to say, if you've ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles, that is the most well-named tractor I've ever seen. I mean, that is the perfectly named vehicle.
All of a sudden, the comments are lighting up with Mongo.
Yeah.
It
Never
was so
mind that
funny.
stuff. Here comes Mongo. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny this summer. We were between events going to one of our Western Series events, and we were live streaming Goshen's event, and Dan Mayer was talking about what the PPL show was doing, but he was awful upset whenever Mongo just got disqualified on the sand track in Goshen. He might have went too fast. We thought that was really funny, eating the dinner table, and Mongo got disqualified. And Dan was upset about it, I could tell.
This has to be the biggest turnout. I know you're joking about Hot Farms earlier, Clint. How many Hot Farm entries are you up to?
I don't know, Jason. It's 70 some, and we have made an adjustment in the schedule. We just didn't quite get the 3.6 truck response that we wanted, so we've adjusted our schedule. We're going to run Hot Farms the first 4 sessions and split them up between 4, and then we're bringing the Hot Farms Saturday night for their finals. They've earned it, and and we just moved some stuff around to make sure those guys are part of the big night on Saturday night, and I'm happy for them. They've been asking for it, and we can finally do it. So it works. It's going to work out really good.
Clint, I got the website up right now, and again, it's a beautiful website, well put together. Mr. Zolik does an amazing job with it. It's whatsmoking.net. I got the class schedules up, and it has the classes listed. Clint, is that the actual? Somebody's asking, is that the actual polling order of the classes, or has that not been determined yet?
No, we don't determine that until the week of, but it's pretty close. I mean, yeah, we make adjustments kind of on the fly. Whenever we actually get together this weekend on Saturday, and we will start putting the tractors in flights, and then we will have a firm class schedule how they're going to go down the track, because we try to manage it to where Brandon's not jerking weights in and out a lot. We run our faster wheel speed a little earlier in the sessions because we don't want the track to get too hard for some of the higher wheel speed stuff. So it's kind of a project in motion.
It's been very, very successful. Okay, so what's new this year? I know on Sidetrack last week you talked about, is it 5.0 Pro Stocks and then the semis? Are those the 2 new classes this year?
Yeah, we got a few 5-inch Pro Stocks is going to come and run indoors with us, and we'll have a few semis there on Saturday night. But we eliminated a couple classes that just wasn't that popular. Just the home groups where these guys are from, they didn't have the numbers this year. We pull them here in Illinois, and we just don't have many tractors anymore. It's kind of like the 10 Pro Farm, it's kind of an expensive ride for what you're getting out of it. So those numbers are kind of going down. So we made an adjustment. The few that still want to come, they're more welcome to come. They go from a 10,000 Pro Farm to a Hot Farm, and we've made adjustments on that. And that was based on Brandon Bungart's notes that he took from the sled. That he said that this sled was set pretty close for those guys as it was the Hot Farms we run day in, day out. So they're more welcome to still enter, and we'll put them in the Hot Farm class, and good luck to them. We'll put the RPM box on them. They got to run the RPMs they're supposed to run. their day-to-day operation, and we'll see how they fare.
Again, if you're just joining us, we're with Clint Tucker right now, promoter of the What's Smokin' Winter Nationals, Shipshewana, Indiana, January 11th through the 13th. Got the website scrolling across the bottom down there. If you have any questions, please type them in. We got one question. What's the best place to eat in Shipshewana? Tucker's not going to know that because he's working all the time. But if we have anybody watching.
There's a lot of places. The Blue Gate's good for breakfast. We have a little place over just south of our hotel. I forget the name of the place. Just south of our hotel on the left. We eat breakfast there every morning. A lot of people say there's some really good Italian and steakhouses and pizza joints in Middlebury, just east of us. So there's a lot of good places to eat there.
The 520 Diner is what we've been just told. The 520 Diner, all you can eat.
Yeah, I think that's just south of the arena on the left there. Kind of catty corner from Yoder's popcorn deal.
Oh yeah, okay, good deal.
It is very
let's
good
talk about.
there. I'll testify. It's good food.
Nice. I got your 2024
box.
You
and I probably agree. There's not a lot of bad places to eat in that town.
Yeah.
Yoder's place is a good place to grab lunch. Buy some popcorn, take it home with you.
Yeah, Pete Penzick says the main intersection.
Just don't do burnouts in his driveway. They don't like that.
Clint, I got the box seat information up on the screen right now. Let's go through your box seats. Those are usually pretty popular for your event.
Yeah, we have one or two left on the smoke tube side, and we got about maybe 2 or 3 left on I call it on the wild side. And they're at the starting line, of course, because the finish line box seats are kind of like Packer tickets. You got to go to a visitation or funeral of your relative that has it to get them. We've got the last 6 or 7 boxes on both sides. They've been there. This is our 20th anniversary, and a lot of those guys have been there all 20 years.
20 years. Holy cow.
Jason, I think you need to put the bill for a Let's Grow Pulling box seat. We'll all 3 come and pretend to be your friends for a weekend, so that way you don't look lonely.
Okay, we could possibly do that. That's up for discussion. That's up for discussion. Can you get out of school, Mike, to do that?
I can already feel a cold coming on those days. I wouldn't want to spread it.
Hey, Clint, I think the craziest year ever was the COVID year. I don't know how you kept your brain through all of that. The yes and the no's in the health department. That was insane.
That was an interesting time, but thank God for Amish and redneck bullheadedness and stupidity. We've pushed through it. And I'm really proud that we did it, because that made us 20 years with no skips, and I'm proud of all my guys, because it wasn't just only me. It was the guys up there at the building. It was the sled guys, because when we changed, they went in February. Well, we had to get a different mini rod sled. Thank God we found one, because Donnie had to go back and do a large antique event in Missouri. So Donnie wasn't even there. It was just me and Brandon and Ed and the crew, trying to pull it through. But yeah, that was a weird deal, and the stupid masks and all that insanity. But I think we got some street credit by staying on course and making the deal, because we actually had 2 transitions. We were supposed to be at Gordyville in January, and of course that wasn't going to work out when the Democratic county of Champaign, and Gordyville unfortunately is in that county, and there was no way I was going to have that event there. That lady basically told me she shut down Big Ten basketball, so who was I? Which I had no response to. So but I tell you, it's Richard Crowell was the one who got a hold of Travis up there and got us together, and Travis and that group up there was brave enough to allow us to come up there, and once we got there, I mean, the pullers said they would like to stay here, and I said, well, it's considerably more expensive, and guys like John Coots and several of the guys that have pulled with me forever, it's like, we don't care what it costs, you just charge us and we'll be here. And it's nice to have support like that, because when you're talking dealing with 500 different entities, an event like this, and having them all behind you 100%, it means a lot to us, and we appreciate all of them.
Yeah, Mike, you got to make that trip up north. That my first year was that COVID year, and it was awesome. I mean, like Clint said, you went through so much to make that happen, and I don't think there was much of a negative response. We were just happy to be pulling and inside and warm and enjoying the show. So it's worth the trek.
And I want to make sure that I'm getting my story straight too. Was COVID what moved it officially from Gordyville to Shipshewana, or was it trending in that direction anyway, and COVID kind of pushed it over the top? And was there ever any thoughts of bringing it back to Gordyville, or have they pretty much decided this is where it stays from now on?
Well, it was COVID definitely made us move to a free state instead of Illinois. And once we got up there, and Travis does a great job with the track, because that, our claim to fame at Gordyville, we have a track that tears stuff up and takes a lot of horsepower. And we wanted to keep that level of competition. We didn't want to go pull someplace that's sand or terrible and not enough pit area. And this place has more pit area than Gordyville has. And Travis does an amazing job with the track. And then whenever he gets it all laid down, my guys, show up. They were always been the best track crew in the world, and they work great together. And then once we got there, most of the guys wanted to stay there, and Gordyville had kind of changed. The numbers we were getting had went way down, because there was some, my buddy Kenny had a pull out there in Kansas City. Our numbers went way down in some of the classes, and we don't get a lot of the guys that helped us get started anymore, because they've either retired, quit, because the pool's basically founded on ITPA, Badger State, the East Central Missouri Tractor Pulling Group, and the East Central Iowa Group. That's kind of how we got started, but it's transitioned when we went to Shipshewana. Now it's more of a nationwide event. I mean, I still think we might get a Super Farm or two out of California. We got a hot farm tractor coming from Maine. I mean, yeah, it's
cool.
I mean, it's on a 4-lane highway. I mean, it's 5 minutes off a 4-lane highway, and and everybody always says, the first couple of years, like, there's no way, Tucker, I'm going to go up to the northern part of Indiana. Gordyville was freezing cold, and I was like, well,
yeah,
I don't know. When I went up there, I was like, well, it's actually warmer up here at Shipshewana than whatever it was at Gordyville, because we're out on that old prairie in that barn. The wind blew 50 mile an hour from every direction, and if it snowed 2 or 3 inches, it looked like a blizzard. Up there, you're in town. Yep. It snowed up there, but they're used to it, and it's not a 5-alarm fire if you get a couple inches of snow. They don't shut school down. They just deal with it, and it makes you confident when you go into a town and a facility like that. That we take snow insurance out, and we take all the precautions, but it's a lot different when you're in a town of that size. In a nice building like that, we deal with it.
And it's another one of those destination pulls that are becoming so popular with the high demand and the low supply. Anytime you have it, in a January, in a November, if it's indoors, if it's 300 feet, fans get itchy and antsy, and I think pullers get even itchier and antsier. So, if you can find that hotbed or that perfect storm, you draw people to it. And now when we live in a world where everyone hears about everything, people want to be there. So, it's becoming, people say the word, if you say the word Shipshewana, this is going to be, they're going to think Midwest Winter Nationals, that it's becoming one of those destination type places.
Well, it's in an area where there's a lot of pulling fans. You know, Larry did shows there before too, and they had big
Oh, yeah.
crowds there. I mean, there's just a lot of pulling fans in that area.
Mhm.
Yes,
You
there
also
is.
people got to remember it's only a couple hours from Bowling Green. You know,
Yeah,
look how many people
yeah.
go there. So, you know, there's a lot of pulling fans in that area, and let alone all the travelers. So it's a good mix of fans. You know, I see people I've seen at Bowling Green. I've seen people I see at Louisville. I see people I've seen here in Illinois. You know, it's a good blend. It's, you know, it is all, you know, pretty much all diesel tractors, but you can't run a lot of fumes in that building because it's
Nope.
so big. It would take enough fans, you know, and then once you get the fans to get rid of all the exhaust fumes, it'd take all the heat out. So it's kind of a unique situation.
Right.
We're dealing with it, and we bring a little bit of alcohol in there. And I've been asked a couple times, you know, the sanity of our fans sitting there listening, you know, smelling the light limited supers, alcohol, and many rods. And I've told a couple people that was kind of in charge of the building in the past, you know, like maybe these guys bought the ticket to smell that. Maybe they're different. Than, you know, maybe they're
Well,
missing it.
during the light limited supers, breathing is optional when you're
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
But,
Cuts down on your beer expenses. I can say that. I sat top row at Louisville one year when they were running all the Alky burners in there, and I didn't have to go get a Coors Light. I was feeling what I needed to feel just by being present.
yeah. Yeah. The big boy 2-wheelers and the big mods and the big supers, they put a lot of fumes out, and you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a lot better down there now. They took the ceiling tiles out and it gets up top. The bad thing was that you can't hear none of the announcers now if you're sitting on the floor. But you know, it's either breathe or hear the announcers, and I think most people will choose breathing.
And you'll watch at Louisville when the mods and alcohol burning 2-wheelers and everything else run. You know, the stands they all go to get ice cream and all kinds of amenities in the back area. Most of the crowd is there when they're running the smoke tube. But you know, everybody thinks the mods are the ticket. Well, no, and but nevertheless, they seem to go to the restroom and get ice cream while the mods are running, and the ones that, you know, want you to breathe later.
Well, Larry, you will know this man I speak of. He was Phil Typin, and I miss him every day. Phil said the worst thing about Gordyville is you don't want to. There's no time to go in the hallway to pee or and drink beer with my buddies because something I want to watch is going down the track the whole time.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
I was only at Gordyville.
Go ahead, Larry.
At Gordyville one time, and for the pull. Been there several times with Linda for a horse show, and that's just a great big barn. And like you say, when the wind comes across the plains and the snow, it's a blizzard. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cold in there, and
yeah, buddy.
So still got the best indoor track in the world. There's none meaner, but you never say never. There might be a day we go back in some capacity because they've actually reached out and talked to us. Because I have 3 guys that's local up here that I work with, you know, quite a bit, and I think they're kind of missing us. I don't think we'll ever go back into capacity we are the Midwest Winter Nationals, but you know. We might go back one day as a second show, but not a lot of guys.
They would come watch, I guarantee you.
Yeah, that's another area that you know, a lot of good fans.
Hey Clint, Lee Provicek's checking in. He's got a 4-1 semi. He was down at Diesels and Dark Corners. He's from Wisconsin. Will there be a limited number of 4-1 semis, Clint?
I probably say we'll have. I hope to have 8 or 10 of them.
Okay. So Lee needs to get a hold of you if he wants to come.
Well, I hate to throw Brett underneath the bus. Just Facebook message Brett.
I'll put it. No, even better yet, I'll put his cell phone number on the screen because that's how much.
Oh, he'll really appreciate that. He'll really appreciate that.
Jason's a hell of a guy, you know.
after we watched the diesel, we got together kind of a small crew of us, all the guys that haul the equipment and stuff. We got together Saturday night and we fooled around on YouTube. We watched Diesels and Dark Corners, 4-1 semis, and that was really cool. Then we did a little more searching on the YouTube for the ones out east that the East Coast pullers run. And we're worth considering starting them here in the ITPA. We have a lot of semis that used to pull until we had a guy by the last name of Walker started pulling semis, and he kind of put most of them on the bench, but they're still here, and we're encouraging those guys to get them back out and get to running. So hopefully we're doing something in the right direction. I think it's all the good intentions. Kind of a limited fuel pump, limited turbo. Still puts on a good show, and
Oh yeah.
see what we can get done.
Before you came on, Clint, we had Pete Penzig talking, owner of Cat Brothers Motorsports. He
Absolutely.
was
Pete's our sponsor of our hot pump class. One of
That's what he
about
said.
3 sponsors of our hot pump class.
Yep. Well, you have a lot of hot farms. You gotta have a lot of sponsors. So.
You gotta have a lot of sponsorship. Yeah.
But he's been around forever, I think. Sponsored. He's always partnered up with Lively, and now he's stepping up and go with Hop. That's awesome. It takes a lot of sponsors to put this event on.
Yeah, and we will start selling our charity raffle tickets, because our charity this year is for cancer research. We got the Checking Out tractor. Of course, Justin's going to build it. And we usually keep our tickets. We don't start selling our tickets online until after they get done down there at Tunica. As a respect for those guys, we need to focus on those guys first, and then after they guys get done, we'll put our tickets up and our advanced tickets online for the toy, and then of course they'll be available there. I haven't talked to Justin. I hope he comes out. If not, we'll have some people there selling tickets for the Checking Out tractor, because he made his qualification pass last year, got in the finals, and let his friend drive it and won in the finals because he went home because he was spent the last few weeks with his dad. And his dad, was stricken with leukemia, and he unfortunately lost him. So we decided to do cancer research. We decided to do that tractor because it's near and dear to our hearts. He's been multi-year champion at Gordyville, and he won last year too. So Ryan does a lot of good stuff for us, and he's got a pretty good mechanic too. I kind of like hanging out with that guy as well.
Good deal. Well, Clint, thanks for coming on tonight. We'll start having you on every couple of weeks, just for 15, 20 minutes, just to keep everybody in the loop.
No
Thanks for all that you do for pulling. We appreciate it. You're a wealth of knowledge. Have a happy Turkey Day, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks,
Have a
Clint.
great night.
Clint Tucker, everybody. He does have terrible internet down there in Illinois, and that's why he'd normally bring his mug on the screen. But it's just good to hear his voice and do this. I'm telling you guys, this event is top notch. It is top notch. It's a lot of fun, and it's in Louisville for the hot farms and the pro farms and a lot of those classes that don't get to go to Louisville. This is their finals, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So
it truly is. Yeah.
a lot of fun.
And from the spectator side, it's one of the most fun ones you're going to go to. In January, you go in, the floors are heated, it feels comfortable, the beer's cold, and the laughs are plentiful. It's awesome.
And it's the only place you can buy beer for miles around.
That's right.
That's a dry county.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they come in and they support it too. They sure do.
Yeah, it's a dry county, but somehow when they built that facility, they got the right to sell beer and wine. Yeah.
That Met Center does a lot for that area. I mean, that's a fantastic tourism area, but the amount of people that they bring in there, and then the Travis that Clint was referring to is Travis Hotstetler. He builds all the tracks, moves all the dirt. They have an outdoor pool there as well, Larry. I think you were at that one, weren't you, this summer?
Yeah, I announced their outdoor pool this past year, and they're going to do another outdoor pool in June, I believe it is, with PPL. I don't know if that's Clint's Western Series or what, but they're doing an outdoor pool behind the building. They're actually got another another area. But the one that I did was the one they hauled the same dirt that they haul in the building. They haul it out on the parking lot, and they had a great show. Yeah.
No, it's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's banquet season officially, and I kind of want to wrap up with some banquet talk. Mike and I were at the Outlaw banquet. Larry was at the PPL banquet. The NTPA banquet is in a couple weeks. The Badger State banquet's in a couple weeks. You scroll your timelines right now, you're seeing a lot of awards from pullers and stuff like that. And a banquet, Larry, and you've been around pulling your whole life, and you know more, but you forgot more than we'll ever learn. But the banquet is a celebration of the season, and it really is a time to get together and celebrate points,
Right.
championships, rookies of the years, and just honestly, it's good to see everybody again at the banquet, Larry. So
Right. Yeah. It's a gala event or gala. Well, I don't know how you want to say it, but anyway, it's
you can say gala. You can say
the
gala, Larry.
gala. The PPL banquet. That's the first one I attended. They had a great attendance, over 350 people, I believe, and the room was full of champions and people to celebrate with them. And they had a great banquet. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the rules meetings. I was now that I'm their safety and technical advisor, that means I get to sit down and look fat, and Jonathan and Christy get to cuss and discuss rules with them. I was amazed at how many people have already been reaching out to me. What's the rule change? What's the rule change? Well, and Jonathan said this morning, he goes, my goodness, we've hardly had time to sleep yet, and they want rules. And I said, well, that's because I'm hanging around, and they know that I'll try to put them up as soon as possible. So they'll be up in a few days. Nothing major changed with the rules and stuff, but they had rules meetings all day Friday and Saturday morning. And then they had that one picture where you see all the guys in one room crowded together. That was not that one. That's a divisional guy. That room right there, standing room only. That's when they announced their programs and gave away certificates and stuff for prizes, drawing. SCS Gearbox alone gave Craig Sage gave away 8 $2,500 gift certificates for products out of his shop. I mean, Mayhill gave a set of tires or two. Nichols gave a set of tires or two. I mean, anybody that was there that was a competitor had a chance to win a lot of stuff. I mean, it was just that was right there, that room. That's also where they handed out their tentative schedule. And everybody, of course, that was there wanted to know where they're going to go next year. Something that I found really cool. They've limited every class they've got. They try to limit it to no more than 14 hooks at the Grand National, at the Champion Series, at the top level. No more than 14 hooks. That way they can go other places and play. But it's that right there was the promoter and sponsor breakfast. They had a great breakfast, and they had chicken embryos and potatoes and stuff,
Chicken embryos.
Chicken embryos. That's, well, you know what I'm saying. Yellow stuff. Chicken embryos or eggs. And I was impressed with all the meetings and participation. Like I say, it was a good time had by all, and it's I don't know. I'm pleased to be a part of it. It's a really neat deal. But they gave away that see the UTV in the corner. They gave away that. I mean, there was a lot of things that prizes and awards that were different than what I was used to. But nevertheless, I mean, everybody has their different opinion on how to run a banquet, but that one right there was top notch. All I got to say, it was top notch banquet weekend and rules meetings and stuff. It went well, put it that way. Jeff Hurt, of course, he won the mini and the open super class, and had his kids up there with him, and of course I've known Jeff, watched him grow up, and Jeff's mom and dad were there with him at the table, and his mom's been very ill, but I was glad to see them, and I went and spent some time with them over at their table, and it was just a big family affair, just like tractor pulling is. I call it like Bowling Green. We all go camp and have fun, and the tractor pull breaks out. So but it's yeah, I was impressed with their response they got from their competitors, and they give away some neat prizes. So it was a good deal.
Well, like you said, it's a celebration. It's a celebration.
Yep.
Makes it fun.
Yep.
So Mike and I went to the Outlaw Banquet down on the Lake of the Ozarks in Margaritaville, and I think we almost had 500 people up there at the actual banquet Saturday night. 475, I think, was the
Cool.
number I heard. And Mackenzie
Cool.
and I were running all the video up on the screen, so that was fun. We had something special to me personally. Dennis Goodwin got inducted to the Hall of Fame for the Outlaws. I grew up
Awesome.
watching Matt Goodwin and Dennis Goodwin, Pride of the
Awesome.
Farm, and that was neat to see that. I got a couple pictures here. Larry sent me some pictures from the PPL banquet. So this is George Neves. This is Cameron Neves' dad. This was at they have like a general meeting at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Then the classes go in their breakouts. They come back together. Then the board goes, decides all the rules and different things. But I just thought this was a cool picture of George there. And then this was the 4-1 limited pro breakout. Again, every puller, they go out and they talk with their class reps. Here's kind of a picture of the banquet hall. I think Saturday night we took that in the back of the room there. Here's the mods. You might recognize there's Olmers, Donald Nelson, some of the pullers. There's Fred Petch. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. And then here's the helmets that were lined up on the front of the stage there. Every puller got the class winner got that cool. That's wrapped by Octane Inc. out of T, South Dakota. They're the ones who wrapped my 4-1, the Remedy, the white one that you guys are used to seeing. And then Jason Wayman, they had an auction, and all the money goes to the scholarship. That's Jason Wayman of No Wayman Diesel. He's a 3.0 diesel truck. He's a class sponsor.
Yeah.
He's your Western Series points champion. I think he got second or third in the outlaw points of the 3.0 class, but he bought that pedal tractor in the auction. And then that's Glenn Free standing right there on the right of the screen with the red ink. Kind of look at him scratching his head going, "What are you doing, Wayman?"
No, Jason, what you don't realize, that's actually a full-size light limited pro stock. Jason Wayman is just that tall. That is a full-size tractor, and that's why he drives diesel trucks, because when he sits on a light limited pro, that's what it looks like.
I actually did take a selfie with Jason Wayman because very few people are taller than me, and he's a 6'7", 6'8" kind of a guy.
I played basketball against him and lost frequently.
Yep, that would happen. So, no, I don't have much more else tonight. It was great to see everybody at the Outlaw Banquet. I'm going to go to the Badger State Banquet in a couple weeks. I didn't get to see them much this summer. I think Kenzie and I, and maybe Chandler, we're going to sneak down to Lebanon for a little garden tractor pull, middle of December. We're going to live stream that. Going to be at PRI for all of you who's going to PRI. I think Larry's going to be in Disneyland that weekend.
I'll be at Disney World. Yes, I'll be at Disney World with 9 of us.
Okay. Ooh, I might have to send a check, Larry, to your mailbox.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, 4-day passes for 9 of us to Disney World. I'd appreciate any contributions you might have, Jason. I mean, come on, man.
Start a Larry Rich Ryan GoFundMe page for his vacation.
No, don't start that crap. No. Grandma and Grandpa, we did it a few years ago. We're going to do it again. At Disney World at Christmas time is just amazing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, but PRI. So if you come to the show, you can actually go out on the football stadium. That's where the big toters are parked and stuff. We have a booth out there. So the Outlaws, we're right next to the Outlaws and then Gene's Machine. So Mr. Brent Payne has a brand new light super that he's going to unveil there at PRI. I'm going to have my new tractor there, the High-Tech Redneck. It's still the High-Tech Redneck. It might be something different in the future. You might see something. We're going to keep that under wraps. And then the Outlaws are going to be there as well. I think Coltrane Energy is going to come down. But it's a great, Larry, it's really dedicated. You've been there. It's really dedicated towards motorsports like drag racing and circle track. And so they get pulling in there a little bit. I know Bowling Green, I think Larry has a booth every year. And I feel like some
Bowling Green has a booth. Shy Diesel has a booth. Fleece will have a booth. They'll all have booths there. Ingram Machine, of course, even though he's builds a lot of tractor parts, the things he'll have there will be more roundy round because he does a lot of sprint stuff and dyno wheel sprints. But no, a lot of the big names of manufacturer parts that we use in pulling, we're already there. I mean, I've attended them both in Ohio and Orlando and and NTPA's had a booth a couple times in Orlando when the PRI was there, and it's anybody that's everybody or everybody that's anybody. I don't know how you say that, but the motorsport industry is definitely a showcase. It pretty much came off of SEMA. SEMA became more of a consumer thing years ago, and the razzle dazzle and the monkey garage type people. And this is truly motorsport, oriented racers and stuff. But yeah, it's quite a show here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Ryan Folks checking in and said he had a booth in 2015. Wouldn't believe the amount of interest of the people. So
Yeah. Well, Ron, when we had Purser's Mod in the NTPA booth one time in Orlando, and Ron Capps walks by and he goes, wow, look at that. And so, and of course, Purser went, that's Ron Capps. And I went, yeah. And he goes, and they were both starstruck. And of course, Ron was starstruck by all those engines. And Ron wanted to know if he could take a picture in the seat of it. And Purser said, by all means. I thought Purser was going to give him a goose to get him in the seat. But yeah, Ron Capps took a picture of him in the seat behind 5 engines. And him and his drag race buddies had a big time with that. But yeah, it's definitely a motorsports place to go. And the floor, you're going to be on the floor.
Orlando. Where'd you do that in Orlando, Larry?
Oh, they're off International Drive. They're a big convention center. Okay. It's actually a bigger facility. It's a bigger facility than the convention center in Indianapolis with Lucas Oil attached to it. Wow. It's huge. It's huge. But the cost got so expensive in Orlando. And PRI has an office right now across from the Motor Speedway right here in Indianapolis. PRI's moved right here in where everything else motorsports wise. But I mean, I'm 5 miles from Schumacher's garage and Force's garage and Ron Cap and all them guys are right here in Brownsburg. They moved in here. The state of Indiana give them a heck of a tax break if they would base themselves out of Indiana. And they all moved right here in an old bean field that I used to do custom bean harvesting, and it was a mud hole. But somehow they got zoning, and they built great big shops in it. But yeah, it's yeah, isn't that strange? Yeah, you couldn't build a house there, but they can build a warehouse-looking building. Yeah. So
IB2. I want to mention fullfold.us. If you want to rent free tickets to Louisville, go to the website and make picks on who you think is going to get invited to Louisville. And he or she who picks the most correct entries wins free tickets. And then Coltrane Energy Drink. I stopped by there yesterday on the way home from the banquet, and they have 3 new flavors out, and they support polling well. They sponsor many polling organizations. So if you're an energy drinker, they do have a sugar-free now as well. Head over to Coltrane.com. You can also find them on Amazon. But I got to see their warehouse. Mackenzie and we got a video coming up about that as well. So it was a fun show, guys. We started out with Justin Hoffman, Outlaw Light Superstock champion, and then we moved on to Pete Penzick and St. Jude's and the raffle tractor. What a cool story that is. And then one of my favorite pulls of the year, which is the Midwest Winter Nationals, the Super Bowl of single chargers. I love that, Mike.
That was Charles. I stole that from Charles.
Absolutely.
I've got to give credit where credit's due.
I love that. I love it. Charles is an amazing announcer. He's actually the voice of that event as well. So Mike, Larry, Matt, wrap it up with each of you with something, and then let's go to bed because I'm still tired from this past weekend.
So before I head out, go ahead, Larry.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well,
I'm just going to say that in one of the random drawings, talking about Coltrane energy drink, Wayne Sullivan won a 12-pack of Coltrane energy drinks. And we all joke that, if his heart will take it, it's an awesome beverage. You know what I'm saying? But Wayne Sullivan, if you hear of a heart attack and a sudden death, you'll have to think that he drank, more than 2 or 3 Coltranes.
Coltrane.
We tried giving him some, Larry, up in Hillsboro, remember?
Oh, I know. But he actually won a 12-pack in a drawing there in the afternoon when you seen all those people in the room. And I said, of course, you know me, I'm shy. And I said, well, let's see how long that lasts before it does one thing or the other. But yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Michael?
Yep. So my quick kind of tidbit from the Outlaw Banquet. It was amazing. It was fun. I met a ton of people, interacted with a bunch of great people. I noticed halfway through the weekend, I quit using the pronoun they. I quit referring to the Outlaws, and I just started saying we. And that was kind of just a neat thing that dawned on me. And my little tidbit of just my small kind of sticking my chest out with pride, coincidence, doesn't have anything to do with anything. But they did honor each pull at each level this year for the Outlaws. And the regional national pull of the year was Sac City, Iowa, which will always hold a very special place to me because that is where I made my tractor pulling announcing debut. So the place where I debuted announcing, first pull I ever called, did get voted the regional national pull of the year. So that did put kind of a quiet smile, if there's anything that's quiet for me, a quiet smile on my face. So
probably because you announced it's the only reason they won. So I will personally give you a golf clap.
I don't know that I had beans to do with it, but I know that I was involved in what happened, and that gave me something to latch on to.
Well, I'll give you credit, even though credit's probably not due.
So that was neat.
Perfect.
Matthew?
Well, I'm going to get after it here. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Remind everybody to buy those tickets for that St. Jude's tractor. That's pretty cool. This time of year and all year, kids with cancer. That's just something that hits all of us. So
yes,
what a cool cause that is. The fundraiser in me will always lean on that, and super excited to see Clinton, everybody this year, because I should be able to get out to Winter Nationals for at least a day and a half this year. So I'm excited for that too. So I hope everybody has a great holiday. Eat too much and blame it on somebody else, because life is good and we have a lot to be thankful for. So
Awesome.
You're correct.
Well said, Matt. That's perfect. Let's just end it now before I say something stupid, okay?
Me too. Good night, everybody. Get some rest.
Peace.